Okay, so it is early Sunday morning. We've got a little bit of work to do in the outbuilding before the sun comes up. We've got 4 more trees to finish, and then we're actually done for the weekend. We got cages for the citrus done, and the sun is just starting to come up. It's gonna get dark, but we need to get water on the pasture and get this day going. It is a little chilly this morning. Okay, you ready to get some water on some stuff, honey? All right. It is Sunday, October 18th, 2020, and we are wrapping up this long weekend of planting trees and vines. The vines you guys actually won't see until next week. We did a separate video on that, and they look really good. But one of the things I wanted to show you guys real quick before we get to planting this morning is I want to show you the pasture. You can see here, it is coming along really good. Now, if you can see, there's looks like two white birds right there. Those are actually mushrooms. I don't know what kind, but they're pretty big. But it's cool to see that. We definitely have some bare patches, especially right up here. You can see against the fence. And a part of that is because we couldn't get water to the back end here. The grass is up about high enough now that I think I can start walking on it without too much of a problem, and get to some of those areas and maybe do some overseeding or reseeding. Anyway, pasture coming along really good, you can see there. So excited about that. Now, we won't have chickens on that pasture for another month and a half or so. We do have our broilers on order. So the first set of broilers arrive, I think it's around November 5th or 6th, something like that. So those won't be on pasture till December, but hopefully this will be ready, and it looks like it's gonna. Okay, so for this morning, you'll see Lori back there prepping a few things. I'm gonna scoot back this way. We've got 4 citrus trees we're planting right up here at the front of the property. For reference, I'll turn around. You can see that is the loquat and guava area here. Spinning back around, you'll see the neighbors, and you'll see the tractor and the 4 trees. There we go, that's a good shot. The 4 trees that we're gonna be planting here this morning. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you each step. These are bigger trees. We got these from Reed, of course. And we have a sanguinella blood orange, we have a gold nugget mandarin, we have a cara. We also got a tangelo. What was it, allspice? Allspice tangelo. So we're gonna be getting these in. So we're gonna go ahead and take you along with, again, bigger pots. So it's gonna be a little more difficult for us to get the holes. Hopefully the ground will help us out a little bit. But we're gonna show you how we get these in the ground. So I just wanted to cover this. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but it's because it's so important. So we're adjusting the design of these kind of keyhole waters. I don't know if you can make this out or not, but we have basically a little spillway that's right here. So that way the center section, while the tree is young, can fill with water and it'll keep it there. But as we start expanding and we have new trees and old trees, we need to make sure we can irrigate nice and heavy for the older trees, while not completely overwatering the small ones. So we have the inner ring that is gonna fill and take care of the small trees for now. If we get too much water, say because we have a couple of older trees on this line, the overwater will spill across this spillway right here and go to the outer ring. Now, of course, what that does is that allows the tree to have the roots grow out. Again, we've talked about it before. You want to encourage your fruit trees to have roots, feeder roots go out and away from the tree. The tree will be stunted, especially out here in the desert with hard, rocky, nasty, dry soil. Roots will not go out into that. They will go into moist soil though. So you want to do everything you can to get the roots from the tree to grow out as quickly and thoroughly as possible. So that's why we've made a little bit of an adjustment to that design there. So now we need to fill these rings with some wood chips. I'm gonna go grab those. There we are with our first few citruses there, at least full-size citrus, right up here at the front. Those look good. The only thing I'm a little frustrated with, we didn't have 3-foot tall hardware cloth. We only had 4 foot, I should say wide, they make them tall. Hardware cloth, we had to do with what we had. We didn't want to go into town to get hardware cloth. I'm gonna swap those out for 3 foot. That's as high as we need. So anyways, we're done up here now. We do have a few more things coming. Actually, they're arriving tomorrow. We were hoping they would be here before the weekend, but turns out it's midday already today, Sunday. We didn't have enough time anyway, but we do need to get a bed prepped, and that would be blackberry. So we've actually been cutting back the sweet potato. You can see it's now not taking up the entire bed. We've got the acorn squash there in the corner as well. So we're gonna continue to cut that back today and probably tomorrow morning, evening, because we're gonna need this bed for blackberries. So this bed is gonna have 2 different varieties of blackberries. We'll go over those once we have them in. And we've already got this one planted. You guys watched us plant that one. That one is our triple crown blackberry that we started from a cutting at the old farm. Now what we still have to do is we still have an extension to put here. So you've got that there, and we've got some space here. You'll see we have some bricks over there built like a oval fire pit that we're actually not going to use, at least not right now. But we're gonna add an additional bed right here for another blackberry that we found while we were buying our other blackberry varieties. And it's kind of a cool looking one. I'm hoping it survives. I don't know whether it will or not. But we got all 3 of those blackberries coming from Rain Tree Nursery. We've actually bought trees from them before and gotten good results. So what we're gonna do, we have, spin around real quick, we have bricks left over in that corner from the garden bed build. That's actually where we're gonna be utilizing to build the beds here. But to start out with, I need to use that tiller to till up the ground, and we're gonna kind of make up some soil. With these beds, we had plenty of time and wood chips in order to get them started. I wasn't planning on that bed. That blackberry was actually really kind of an impulse buy, so we've got to quickly get a bed together for it. because it arrives tomorrow. So I'm gonna get the tiller going and we'll talk a little bit about the soil that we're gonna be putting into this bed for that blackberry. So we lost battery power and didn't know it, but you can see what we've got done here with the bed. So it is ready for blackberries tomorrow. Now what I am gonna do, you can see I've got wood chips there in the middle to hold some moisture in where the planting spot is and try to sink that down a little better. We used the garden soil leftovers and created that soil in there, which I'm hoping will be very good for that blackberry. We needed to make this bed shorter because it might be hard to make out, but down there on the ground is a flag and an emitter right there. This will be another full-size mulberry tree that will actually shade this bed out quite a bit, and that's kind of what I'm counting on. So we couldn't extend the bed quite as far or as deep. However, I think this will be in good shape. One more thing I am gonna do to plant that blackberry is I will add a top dressing in there of the Kellogg's garden soil. I had a little bit left over, so I did put a little bit in there now, and then I'll get a bag of it probably from Depot tomorrow, and then put one full bag in here, a layer of that in there to help with some actual soil and some nutrition in that soil for that new blackberry. Okay, so it is lunchtime. I'm starving. Lori and I are gonna go in, have a bite to eat, and then wrap for the day, I think. So you guys will recognize this. This is the Nagami kumquat. Actually, it was the beginning of the fall planting season. Now, we're not done. We still need to plant our garden beds out. I've got blackberries to plant. We've got other things we're gonna be getting in the ground, but I wanted to show you after a couple weeks, as Lori slides in closer, you'll see that this Nagami that's new in the ground is putting on some amazing flowers right here. So it's really flowering really, really well, which is very typical for kumquats. And so this one's nice and happy being exactly where she's at. Now we do have some rabbit damage that's happening on the other kumquats, so Lori and I are gonna come back. We've got some ideas. We kind of threw together some fencing that's not stopping them. So we're gonna put some taller fencing in here and kind of fence this whole area off so I can let this one out of its cage. Which I think will be very good for this little guy. So looking back, you can see the citrus here in the foreground that we just planted with you guys today. We've got the loquats doing really well in the back, along with the guava that are back there as well. The guava actually have put on a new flush of growth, which is great to see. Really excited about those, and also those loquats. We're watering the pasture now, midday, need to get some water on it, but get a good view of the pasture. It looks fantastic. See all kinds of different things growing, especially in the middle where we have the highest density of water. You can see it's greening up really well, especially here where it gets some afternoon shade because of the coop and run area. Now I think now that we're getting down into the low 90s, looks like maybe into the 80s next weekend, in those cooler mornings and evenings, I'm hoping that this pasture will really take off because we need it to. It's gonna be about it for today, but one thing I wanted to say, we've had several of you guys send us videos. You guys comment and send us emails and Instagram messaging and stuff all the time. really encourages us, because I know there are times when we encourage you, which is what we love to do, and then you guys encourage us with your comments and your questions. We've also had some videos that Lori and I really enjoy. And we've got, in fact, one of you out there, I don't know if you're watching, William, or not, but in Scotland, that was really cool to see. So you're giving a go at it with trying some apricots in pots in Scotland. Man, that is a challenge. You know, we talk about all the challenges we have here, but that's a unique one. And it's really cool for you to share that with us. But he actually sent us a video, and we've gotten a couple from you guys, and we really enjoy watching those. So we figured we'd let all you guys know, you know, if you guys would be willing to send us a YouTube video. You know, obviously you have a YouTube account because you're seeing this, unless you're looking at it somewhere else. So you can upload videos, and if you've never done it before, it's super simple. You can do it quite easily, and you don't have to make the videos public. So you can make them private or unlisted, or you can make them public. If you make them private or unlisted and you email it to us, email the link, we can watch the videos, Lori and I can, and we would love to connect with you there. If you want to make them public, what we were thinking is making a playlist here on the channel that actually has all of the subscriber videos where you guys are just showing us, you know, your garden, you know, your homestead, your little farm, whatever it may be. But we're going to do a playlist if you want it to be public. If you don't, that's cool too. But, you know, we'd really love to hear from you guys and show us what you guys have been encouraged to put in the ground. And it doesn't matter where you're at. It's been really cool to see you guys all around the world doing things like we're doing here. And we really get encouragement from hearing from you guys that way as well. So as a wrap up for the long weekend, Lori and I actually got all 40 of those trees and vines that we purchased from Reed on Thursday into the ground. And we got a few hours left here on Sunday that we're gonna try to chill out just a little bit. Our total tree count so far for through the fall planting, so we started in March. So our first trees went into the ground in March, and we just put those 40 trees in, finished that up this morning, and we're sitting at 103 fruiting trees, shrubs, and vines. So perennial fruiting plants that we've put into the ground here on the property. We've still got a long way to go, and it doesn't look like anything's here. So we've sure got a long way to go, but it's really cool to see, especially the front of the farm finally coming together. Really glad that you guys were here this weekend and we could share this heavy planting weekend with you guys. You know, going into the next few weeks, we've got so much left to do. We've got pigs coming on the farm here in a couple weeks. We've got our broiler chickens coming at the beginning of November. And we've got projects we need to get done, infrastructure in place, because we ordered a bunch of fruit trees online this weekend that are all gonna be here, you know, sometime in the winter. So we've gotta make sure we've got irrigation run into those and a lot of things that we need to get accomplished here in the fall. So it's definitely not gonna slow down. So just want to thank you for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Questions or comments, leave those in the comment section down below. Instagram and Facebook, we post content there you won't see here on the YouTube channel. Our Amazon shop, I'll leave a link down in the description. That's a free, painless way to help support the channel. If you start with that link, it doesn't matter what you buy, you help to support us here. Our Healthy Farm Living channel, a plug for that one. That is where Lori and I actually cover all the things we do inside and around the farmhouse to stay healthy. And then one more thing, if you guys are willing to do that video for us, it doesn't matter, it could be in first person or third, we'd love to see you. But if you don't want to be in it, just use your phone. That works great too. But we'd love to hear from you guys. And basically just saying, you know, Dwayne and Lori, it's been cool to see what you've done, but look what I'm doing. That's what we'd really love to see. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere, so can you.